Hello friends, welcome to this channel, Center of Excellence Pharma 4. I'm glad to share you that this is 124th episode, which I'm recording. Today's episode, I'm going to discuss about journey to integrated business planning, mainly for the pharma leaders. Before starting the episode, I just wanted to give you a brief idea about our concept. Dr. Jayan Joshi, that's myself, has designed this concept, Center of Excellence Pharma 4, where we want to discuss about various emerging technologies like cloud, artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data, blockchain, IoT, robotics, and how these various technologies can contribute in solving the challenges into pharma digital supply chain management and regulatory requirements. With this objective, we have designed a knowledge base which has been covered into our website respa.com. We have also designed a course, Smart Manufacturing in Pharma, which has got 20 modules, and these are listed onto a Udemy platform. We have also started a YouTube channel about 5 years back, and this has got 390 videos. This covers from strategies to validations and audits. Podcast channel, which you are listening right now, is also supported by a book series, Center of Excellence Pharma 4, where we have 10 books on Amazon platform. These are available in Kindle as well as paperback. My today's agenda is about demand planning and forecasting, supply chain planning and optimization, advanced financial integration and strategic alignment, working capital optimization and cash flow management, scenario modeling and risk management excellence, cross-functional collaboration and organizational excellence, technology infrastructure and digital transformation, implementation excellence and organization maturity, strategic value creation and business impact, and conclusion. We have to start this with the intelligent market sensing, the demand forecasting, demand planning. And this is the significance in the advanced supply chain intelligence. We have artificial intelligence powered demand sensing, which improves the forecast accuracy by maybe 25 to 50% depending upon the maturity level where you are today. And this reduces the bluish whip effect onto pharmaceutical supply chain. Integration of advanced technologies is going to be a key factor into integrated business planning. This combines statistical forecasting algorithms with machine learning models and analyzes historical sales data, market intelligence, promotional plans, and various external factors which are going to contribute into demand forecasting, demand planning. This is very successful by implementation by companies where they have used this advanced demand sensing framework. This improves precision for both established and new products and a breakdown silos which were there into old algorithm systems and goes to the faster market response. That's the main effect it gives it, and that improves your digital supply chain management and improves the customer satisfaction, customer centricity. Market intelligence integration is going to help, which incorporates the external data sources where you can even include the diseases prevalence, demographic trends, healthcare utilizations, and competitive intelligence with advanced analytics. Improved demand planning can help in enhancing the demand signal recognition, and that anticipate the market shift before they appear into historical sales data. This creates a value for the new product, which is very crucial for when you are launching a new product data. And limited historical sales data, when it is available, can also gets converted into the new therapeutic areas and all that. So your new product launch also becomes a very smooth. You don't have to really keep it in the mind about the huge data. Multi-economic inventory optimization. As we see that if the demand forecasting, demand planning is accurate, it giving you a real-time impact, you can reduce the inventory, maybe 15 to 30%. At the same time, you can maintain 99% about the service level. That is where you want to keep the inventory without giving any impact at the markets and all. So optimization really helps into the supply chain network, and this uses a sophisticated algorithms which you can really go on building up depending upon your factors, what really you want to cover up on from your market, depending upon the product, geographies, competitions, and all that sort of a thing. And the key factors can be demand variability, lead time, service level targets, some various these factors you can go on. This also keeps it in mind about the temperature sensitivity and varying the shelf life of the products and all that sort of a thing. So you can define these factors also. Now, based on to your demand planning or forecasting, you have to also plan it out the production capacity planning. Now, the benefits of integrated business planning, especially into pharmaceutical production, that it can reduce the production cost by up to 20%. And this improves the asset utilization across the global network, depending upon the wherever you are manufacturing the various products at various locations and all. This is very important, especially if you have a long production lead times and you have a complex changeover requirements. When you shift from one product to another product or one batch to another batch, and you have a lot of regulatory constraints are there, and you want to have a batch traceability, various such factors are there. This really is very helpful. You can really do the much better planning and optimize the resources requirement. That's mainly your equipments and all that. This also helps you in a global supply network designing. This, when we are talking about the entire integrated business planning, it not only covers the production, but it also covers the your logistic and all that sort of thing. Logistic planning also helps, and that also can save maybe 10 to 25%. That analyzes the trade-off between the manufacturing location, distribution centers, transportation modes, and inventory strategy. You can go on considering these many factors into that. And that optimization models really take into consideration. On the other side is about the raw material sourcing costs, transportation expenses, regulatory requirements, and other risk factors also. Considering the supply's reliability, depending upon how efficient he is maintaining those delivery schedules and all that. This requires a sophisticated modeling which you can build up considering the AI and ML, and that will optimize the cost of services and the risk about the having your sourcing from the multiple location, multiple countries, from the different regulatory requirements and all this. Now, this can also gets integrated with a real-time financial reconciliation. You want to have a visibility of into your profit and loss implication that can also be considered because you are talking about the entire integrated business planning and all. This continuously translates the forecast and other plans also. As the demand forecast goes on changing, it gives an impact onto the supply plan, that is your procurement plan, and also gives you the impact on showing onto the revenue, cost, profit projections, and everything. Reduction into the financial close cycles. As we have seen earlier, financial closing, either at the month end or a quarter end, it may takes a long time for working out the entire thing. Maybe in some cases it may be 10 days, which can be reduced into 3 days or something like that. That's also gives you a impact onto your financial planning and all. That improves the accuracy and timeliness. From the financial point of view, we have to also look at it the budget versus actual variance analysis about, it could be operational cost, it could be distribution expenses. You must be having some budgeted figures, and then you want to do a comparison of actual, where those variances are there or plus or minus side and all, considering your revenues, cost, profitability, product-wise, market-wise, unit-wise, or something. So all those things you need to work it out for a better financial controls and all this, right? So when you're talking about the entire integrated business planning, considering the entire digitizations and all that sort of a thing, this becomes a very, very useful for your data-driven decision making and all that sort of thing. It can also give you an early warning capabilities and all, when you're into any particular process of new products or any changes or deviations or any new challenging orders from the customers or something, or launching of a new product and all. So this is very important thing. Then I too want to also discuss about the product portfolios. No, you must be having a product mix, and you want to decide on to that. Whether how which products are giving the better contribution, which we want to continue, which are contributing into maybe supporting products or something like that. So real-time profitability analysis gets calculated considering your manufacturing cost, distribution expenses, marketing, pricing, and all that sort of a thing. If you have a complex portfolios, where on some special products you may have a high margin, and on some generic products you may have a lower margin. So this is where you want to work it out the uh, product mix and all that. I think this can really, IBP can help you to improve onto that, and that can add maybe potential increase of maybe 5 to 15% onto your profitability and all. So these are certain things which you can really keep it in mind while designing, developing, implementing the integrated business planning system. Now this also give you an impact on to your cash flows performance. Your 20 to 40% improvements can come onto the cash flow planning also. This synchronizes your inventory management, accounts receivables, accounts payable and all. And that can help you to improve onto optimization of the inventory investment, inventory levels. So that will give an impact onto your working capital requirement. So while you are maintaining the flexibility about the inventory level, the necessary impact can also be noticed. And also initial inventory investment and then extending the payment terms, giving the impact onto the cash flows from the various stakeholders can be also worked it out and all. So cash flow forecasting is also an added advantage because you get a much better accurate predictions of the cash requirement, cash disbursements and all that sort of a thing. You can discuss with bankers and all onto the financials arrangement depending upon the priorities and different policies from your distributors to the suppliers, and also synchronizing financial and operation plans is an advantage. Basically, that gives you a better financial planning around. You can also use a what if scenario. Since we are talking about the entire integrated digital system with a basis of integrated business planning, you can apply the what if scenarios also. That if suppose a particular product manufacturing site is going to get shut down, or if there are any delays into regulatory approval, or if there are new competitive products are coming into the market, you can discuss these scenarios and see and run those multiple scenarios within an hour to see what correct decisions you should really take it out. So having a real-time accurate information can help you to take a necessary business decisions quickly and implement them and all. Now this was also happening is in the when pandemic was there. No, a lot of companies wanted to take a correct decisions about various business decisions. So it has really helped some of the companies where they already have implemented that. Now, IBP, the part is also sales and operation planning. So a sales and operation planning executive dashboard will give you the scenario about the implementation maturity that can be achieved even 90% also. It depends upon the level where you are working, and the real-time visibility of key performance factors or indicators is already there and all. The decision making will improve. Your data integration, starting from demand planning, supply planning, financial systems, market intelligence, manufacturing, distribution planning, distribution resource planning, everything gets integrated into the entire systems and all. And this will help in enhancing the oversight, identifying the trends, exceptions, and opportunities. That's a benefit. Now we are when you are talking about the entire integrated business planning, we are looking at it for a cross-functional KPI and their alignment. So some of them are discussed, which I'm continuing. It is all about the forecast accuracy, bias detection, reasonability checks, scenarios analysis, and all. How they are going to get impact onto each other and all. As we see that errors into the forecast can be identified, which will have a forecast onto the logical and possibilities are there. Evaluate the various demand scenarios. As I was discussing about into the what if analysis, you can consider these factors into this thing. So what really we are looking into the integrated business reviews is the benefits or possibilities are there is that it can reduce your cycle time by maybe 50%, improve the quality and consistency into the planning decision. It will ensure the participation of all the relevant stakeholders, because they will all have onto the same platform, same data you are working. So that decision making and sharing will really be helpful into the entire communications and all this sort of thing. And that creates an accountability for planning the decisions and all. And rapid adoption to the market will help in the operational changes which can be really taken up into that. Consensus planning work can be taken up with that ensure the forecasting decisions where you are taking the inputs from various all relevant stakeholders. No? It's a market, it's a forecasting, it's a basically the maybe distribution or logistic and all that, various inputs which are coming up, or maybe market intelligence which is there. So that really goes on getting all integrated, and that maintains the planning, the ownership and executions. And the functional silos which were there into old analog systems are getting broken down, and that is becomes easy for planning to do more better accurate planning, and committed mates will be there actually. Now this requires to get supported by the change management. As we know, we are habituated for a long time based on to our analog systems, which are mainly using the old data about the sales data and all those sort of thing. While now the new systems are working onto the quick response from the market dynamics and all that sort of thing. Similarly, regulatory compliances also may go on changing, and that also requires a structured approach to maintain all those documents as per the new requirements and all that sort of thing. And this is where no, there are going to be the changes, there are going to be modifications and all. So system should be such flexible, it should really help to the skills who are operating at a manufacturing level to open and do the cultural change, process changes, and all that sort of thing to adapt to this particular thing. So IBP implementation is a process. You have to really select a platform, and then you have to have a cloud-based supply chain planning application, because as we know, all this compiled data is really going to the cloud where it is going to get stored, it getting integrated, and then your artificial intelligence and machine learning algorithms also play an important role. So your advanced analytics and machine learning and predictive modeling will work actually. And that creates a unique platform, and it synchronizes the planning with executions and all that sort of thing. And this is a continuous process. This goes on improving your forecasting accuracy, inventory optimization, and improve the supply chain visibility to all stakeholders. Now, what are the standards IBP modules? Now, there are certain modules, sub-modules are there. So what really we look at it from the pharma industry point of view is about the regulatory compliances, because that's what is most important to maintain all the documentation. The shelf life constraints are there, demand variabilities are there, demand planning, supply chain control tower is going to get developed, which will have a visibility of across the entire systems and all, and inventory optimizations. And managing inventory across the entire supply chain is very important, because that is going to bring the benefits of entire integrated business planning and all. So balancing the service levels becomes a very cost-effective applications and all. Now, what is this? I mentioned about the supply chain control tower. So what is the supply chain control tower? Is basically a system which is taking up all the data in a real-time monitoring and generates an exception management reports. That basically is what we discuss about the entire system is about the disruptions and all. And we must get a advance alert messages about the disruption. So identifying and responding to supply chain disruptions immediately, so that the management or the stakeholders can take a necessary corrective action and take the decisions immediately. So proactive management should be there, instead of this thing. Uh, Predictive things, we should really take it out. The triggers should really get defined, and the conditions should be uh, identified, and then we should really do the acceptable changes. What are the actions which are there? So that is what is the thing is, instead of being a reactive responses after the disruptions happens, it we have to really take the proactive decisions of management and all that sort of thing. Now, artificial intelligence and machine learning, as I discussed earlier, also this plays a very important role from the demand forecasting. Depending upon your various factors which are really going to give an impact onto your demand planning, demand forecasting, you should visualize them. You should incorporate those into the algorithm, and which will get integrated onto your inventory optimization, inventory levels, and all that sort of thing. And then based on to that, you can have a supply chain planning, purchase planning, procurement planning, and do that integration with your suppliers and everything. Similarly, your machine learning algorithms also have to be built up because you are going to analyze a huge amount of data which is going to come continuously. You have to identify the demand patterns. Sometimes it may be the sales history, sometimes it may be depending upon the market intelligence, sometimes it may be weather data, sometimes it may be the various economic factors, sometimes it may be seasonal conditions. So all those various things we have to take into consideration, all those data sources, and then go on working onto this to build up those algorithms. So, and this moves one step further to do the predictive analytics. So predictive analytics will help to work out the most accurate forecast demand and supply chain performance. And quality metrics should be there, which will get linked up to your financial outcome so that they will also have a predictive. So your proactive management should really help in improving the supply chain operations and reduce the need for the any reactive responses to the problems. What is we are really looking is that we should have a minimum disruption, minimum challenges into the entire system. So it should do the value addition into the entire pharmaceutical companies or into the manufacturing, which will give a good support to the patient's access into the critical thing. Now, how you will decide about the maturity level of your IBP? Now, IBP level maturities are also been designed from 1 to 5, but what normally we find that most of the companies operate between 2 or 3, which they are supposed to be good systems, but still they have a lot of scope for the improvement. So certain factors which really going to contribute is the people and culture, processes, governance, the technologies which have been used, the tools which have been adopted, the analytics and the performance which is reports are getting generated and all this sort of thing. And that will give you an idea what are the maturity levels where you're working and all this sort of thing. And then what really we have observed is that there is a tremendous scope for improving onto that. The first important thing is that many places they are still working into the silos build. The entire integration plays a very important role, but this goes into the phases. So, and the entire implementation is a long-term process. So, what normally we have observed is that the level 3 maturity is there. This is where the implementations are happening these are the formal governance structure is there, no, but not really a integrated governance structure, or whether the team members are good enough to take decisions and all that sort of a thing. So advanced supply and demand planning capabilities are there, and those are aligned with the strategic planning with the company goals, about uh, sales turnover, the financial goals of profitability or something. Those are to be integrated and all that sort of thing. So the transitioning from even level 3 to level 4 is also a big challenge, and that shift is depends upon your functional optimization, your enterprise level planning, supply chain planning, all that needs to get integrated. The level 4 is maturity is more collaborative planning, and this needs an integration, and full integration with all business function can help you to move from 3 to 4 and all that sort of a thing. So advanced analytic capabilities, continuous improvement processes go on moving from 2 to 3, 3 to 4 and all that sort of thing. That will help you to improve your forecast accuracy, higher inventory turnover ratios, and better financial planning, and gives you commitment to the improvement. And that is where your optimization of process improvements comes up and all. and organization change management will help. Then comes the looking at it, the change management from the organizational transformation, the critical success factors which really we are to say. As we discussed earlier, on the breaking down the traditional silos is a starting point that creates a shared accountability of the planning out for outcomes. Now, all stakeholders, directly or indirectly, are getting involved into the planning, which was not there into the earlier silos-based systems and all those things. This is where there is a cultural shift. There is a cross-functional working. It goes on improving and all. And leadership is also getting engaged. All the different stakeholders, the various departments who are managing the entire supply chain management get integrated into this entire thing and all of that. These stakeholders also require the both technical as well as the capability training. As we discussed, in the technology also there is a hardware and there is a software. As we discuss about the cloud, AI, IoT, and all that sort of a thing, how it is really going to contribute the data access, data integration, data storage, and all that. And in a collaborative, because since we are discussing about the various different departments, those technical skills and collaborative skills have to really work together to build a cross-functional planning, basically. It's not uh, earlier it was only purchase planning, sales and operation planning, demand planning and all. Now everything is really going to get integrated. So early involvement of all these various key users can really help you to move faster and all that sort of thing. And this is where the focus has to be there onto the human element. Because as we say, it is a holistic approach. It's a people, processes, and technology. So people play a more important role. We also discuss about the head, heart, and hands. No? So the head is basically is a cultural center which needs to start working and contributing it and all. Now, since we are discussing about the pharma industry government structure, is very important. Clearly, we have to really outline the roles of the planning process and its establishment into the decision-making authority, because otherwise it can create a confusion, and creating accountability will lead to a plan execution who are going to have that particular role, who is going to take what type of a decisions and all that sort of thing. Because finally, it's an integrated, it's interest of all stakeholders and all that sort of a thing. So, but good thing is that since these decisions are also taken up, these are known to all those various stakeholders in time and all that sort of a thing. Only thing, monitoring becomes important thing basically, so that it becomes additional benefiting factors for improving the decision making. That is also a cultural change. So performance measurement and everything can really go on improving based on to this particular thing. This will lead to work out measurable ROI, return on investment, because we are doing investments onto hardware, software, training, change management, and all that sort of thing. So, what are the improvements can be there? So, it can be 5 to 20% into the service level, 10 to 20% reductions into inventory level, or 15 to 40% improvements into working capital level, improvements into financial performance, reducing the operating costs, increase revenue based on to the improved service levels and all, enhancing the cash flow and working capital things. So these are the certain factors, and some mid-sized companies who have done this type of implementation have maximized the benefits which have been noted, minimizing the write-offs and all that sort of a thing into the real-time basis. Now comes the service level improvement. As we discussed that, we are really looking for patients or the customers who have to really get satisfied. So from the pharmaceutical industry point of view, these are the important things. There should not be any stock outs at any place, any time, and all that sort of thing, because which is going to be very important for the patient's health and safety. So IBP, that's the integrated business planning, will also synchronize the supply with the demand and it reduces the stock outs and all this sort of thing. So this is how that service levels will go on improving, and that is crucial from the patient's outcome point of view. Inventory optimization, as I discussed into the last slide, that stockout should not be there. At the same time, overstocking also should not be there because you are blocking up the money into the stocks and all that sort of a thing. And at the same time, some of the products have expiry dates also, that the life cycle is also there. And that also we have to keep it in mind. So we have to have minimum stock, but a live stock which is not really having a short expiry dates or something like that. So this we have to really keep it in. Competitive advantages and positioning is to be taken into consideration. So these are the various factors which we have to, and advanced IBP capabilities are also really going to help for the superior product availability and better financial performance and market disruptions and all. So in this brief idea, I tried to cover up most of the factors which are really going to contribute into integrated business planning. We have to keep it in mind about the significance about the integrated business planning excellence, how it will have a precise, agile, and strategically aligned various supply chain operations and all. How AI is going to play important role in demand sensing, how various multiple systems are really going to contribute and optimize onto the inventory level across the supply chain. Real-time financial integration is going to contribute onto your operational plans also. You will have a better planning about the revenues, your purchase budgets and everything also. This can also help you in scenarios modeling and all, and cross-functional collaborations about the various stakeholders into the entire supply chain management is most importantly. So future of pharmaceutical leadership is should really take all these factors into the mind and all that sort of thing while working on to designing or upgrading into the new integrated business planning systems and all. We also had discussions on to the various topics at our various social media platforms and all. I request all of you to look at them also, and I'm sure that will also help you to build up your knowledge and you will share this with your colleagues also. Thank you. Bye.